And I'm the historian of the club.
And just a quick summary of what our club does. The Chemistry Club encourages deeper insight into the chemistry field through hands-on experiments as well as demos. To our members, we try to teach key concepts to students who have or haven't taken the class in an engaging manner. And today, we'll be moving on to today's program, which will be about chemistry in our kitchen. So, all of the demos and experiments that we are showing today in today's presentation can be done through the ingredients found in your kitchen. So this is just an agenda of what we'll be talking about today. So we'll be discussing what chemistry is, because not all of you may be familiar what the subject is. And then we'll be talking about a baking soda volcano, a lava lamp, pasta, and rock candy. So our first topic is the baking, oh, sorry, my bad. Our first topic, we'll be talking about what chemistry is.
So a lot of you guys might be wondering what chemistry is. So it is a branch of science. It's similar to biology or physics, where we would look at different types of matters and their interaction with energy. Specifically, those that study these kinds of chemistry principles in labs are called chemists. So even in chemistry, there's tons of different parts. For instance, we'll be looking at different reactions such as redox reactions or decomposition where they're breaking apart, and synthesis where they're created. Chemists will also study the different states of matter such as solid, liquid, and gas, and examine the light spectrum where we'll be looking at the parts of an atom such as protons, electrons, and neutrons.
So moving on to our first experiment, which is the baking soda volcano. And before we talk about the baking soda volcano, we will be discussing what volcanoes are. So what are volcanoes? I'm pretty sure many of you guys know what they are, but just for all of us to be on the same page, I'll be quickly explaining what they are. So to understand what volcanoes are, we need to know that our planet has 3 layers. So the first layer is the crust over here, and then the second layer is the mantle, and then the third layer is actually split up into 2 parts, which is the outer core and inner core. And so volcanoes are actually openings in our crust, the first layer. And now you may wonder why they explode. So to explain this, so we're gonna pretend my first hand is the crust and the second hand is the mantle. So these 2 layers, they push against each other, but nothing really happens because the forces cancel out. So they just keep pushing against each other. But when the mantle becomes stronger, it pushes the crust up. That's why there's an explosion. So you may wonder, why does the mantle get stronger? So in the mantle, there exists something called magma. And magma is basically lava that's underground. And in magma, there is water and sulfur, and these liquids, they create bubbles. And so when these bubbles pop, it increases the pressure of the mantle, pushing it up, thus making it stronger and pushing through the crust. And then when there's too much, boom, lava comes out and the volcano has exploded. So if you want to see this reaction, but not so dangerously up close, you can probably do it with the ingredients found in your kitchen. I'm going to be playing a video on how you can make a baking soda volcano.
We're going to start with our baking soda. You want to put the baking soda into the cup first, and I'm realizing I don't have a funnel, so I'm going to go ahead and use this piece of paper. You can do this at home if you don't have a funnel. Just take your piece of paper and you're going to make it into a cone shape, just like this. And you want to make sure that you've got a little bit of an opening here. So small enough to fit into the bottle, but big enough so that your baking soda and anything you're going to pour in there goes through. So let me go ahead and stick this just like that, makeshift funnel. All right, so now we need 2 tablespoons of baking soda. And you want these to be pretty level, but they don't have to be perfect. So 2 tablespoons of baking soda right on in there. You might have to shake it a little bit to get it down in there. Let's take a look, make sure everything goes through. So it should be sitting in the bottom just like that. All right, so here we go, volcano. The next thing you're going to do, you're going to take your vinegar and we're going to pour a 1/4 cup of vinegar. So I've got my measuring cup right here. Again, families at home doing this. Kids, you might want to have parent help you or an adult help you. Kids, adults, make sure you've got some kids helping you too. That might be a little bit of fun. All right, so make sure you're protecting your eyes too. This can sting a little bit. Again, we eat it, so this is all really safe. But I don't encourage you to eat any of our science materials while you're at home. All right, so the next thing we're doing, we've got our 1/4 cup of vinegar, and now we're taking our red food coloring. Just gonna put a couple of drops into the vinegar. Whoop, that was a little more than I anticipated, but it's gonna make it really, really red. So we're anticipating, and some of you might already know this from doing it at home, but we have a chemical reaction that happens with baking soda and vinegar, and we're gonna see some carbon dioxide bubbles. And this is gonna make all of that bubbly foam look red and look like real lava. At home, whatever you've got, if you wanna color it, if you don't wanna color it, you don't have to. Take a look and see what it looks like without, and then maybe add some colors later, maybe add multiple colors and see what it looks like then too. All right, so I'm gonna set all of this aside, our baking soda, our vinegar, and the next thing you're gonna do is just pour it right on into your bottle. Woo! All right, we had an explosive volcano happen there, but there we have it. Kitchen Science classic baking soda and vinegar volcano for you to do at home.
All right, so that was the end of the video. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I'm trying to close the video, but it's taking a little bit longer than expected. Okay, there we go.
We're gonna start.
So I'm going to explain the science behind the experiment that you just saw. So this experiment is actually a chemical reaction, which means the vinegar and baking soda we put into the container will turn into something else. The solution that comes out of the container is no longer vinegar and baking soda. They're gas, water, and one type of salt. And the most crucial step to make a successful baking soda volcano is to produce large amount of gas called carbon dioxide, which is a gas that you are breathing out right now and also is the gas in the soda. Imagine that you have a lot of gas inside a small box, and then when there's like not enough space, the gas will be pushed to the outside very quickly and causing an eruption. When we compare it with a real-time live volcano, we see that the experiment and the real-life volcano share many similarities. The first one is that they both have many gases. For baking soda and vinegar experiment, the experiment will produce gas called carbon dioxide, and then while the lava in real-life volcano will contain many dissolved gases such as water vapor in the form of bubbles. The second common feature is that these gases will cause eruption. In the experiment, so many gases are produced that the space is not enough to hold all of them. Then some gas bubbles will comes out of the opening, and then in real life, the bubbles in the lava will grow larger as it ascends to the Earth's surface and will eventually explode when it is too big.